Attention sports enthusiasts and loyal Ateneo fans. The peak of excitement may have settled after the UAAP season, but your support for Team Ateneo should never waver. Show your unwavering spirit by proudly donning your favorite Get Blued merchandise. We have amazing news for you. You can now find the most extensive selection of authentic Ateneo gear at both Shopee Mall and Laz Mall. Gear up and embrace the blue and white pride with Get Blued's top-notch apparel. And remember, always buy original.
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Navs Effect podcast. I'm your host, Naveen Ganglani. So, if my voice sounds a little tired right now, it's probably in part because it is 3:34 in the morning as I record this, officially the 100th episode of the podcast. I wanted to have some big plans and big ideas for this 100th episode, considering where we started with this podcast and where we are now. But I have to say, it's 3:34 in the morning. I woke up at about 7:30 a.m. the day beforehand, so I've been awake almost 24 hours straight. It has been a crazy, busy Wednesday. October 4th. It is now Thursday as I record this, so as much as I would love to make this a video production, I have to go audio for now. Running on fumes here a little bit, but it is a podcast to talk about the latest Ateneo Blue Eagles versus De La Salle Green Archers UAP men's basketball game. Just some quick thoughts, observations, and sentiments towards what I thought was a game where Ateneo just displayed fantastic character for a young, really a rebuilding team if you think about it to some degree. They're one of those rare teams that if you look at the roster and all the new faces and all the new pieces that have to be established in this system and this dynamic, for them to remain a title contender, at least this early in the UAAP, you still have to consider them a title contender, is a testament to how good that program has been for so many years and also how good of a leader and head coach Tab Baldwin is. With what he's building with this team, I think sooner rather than later, we will see the characteristics of another championship contender. Now, will that be good enough for them to eventually win the UAP championship and defend their crown? We shall find out. Too early to tell. But do they have the pieces to go for a run? Absolutely. And I think the game against the Salle proved that. The Green Archers, on the other hand, some might say it's harsh. Some might say it's early in the season. It is Ateneo, but I felt that was a game that La Salle should have won. And La Salle was actually on its way to winning that game, up 9 in the third period, up 7 to open the fourth quarter. And in the blink of an eye, Ateneo erased that lead, stole momentum, stayed in control. And once again, it felt like the same Green Archers we've seen for the last few years. Playing good, inconsistent, figuring out a way to get a lead, only to come crashing at the later stages. Now, given that this is only the second UAAP game of the Green Archers under head coach Topex Robinson, it is fair to say that we should perhaps give them some more time to gel, see how they do more than 2 games, which is a very small sample size for the UAAP. A lot can happen until the December period when the season will end. But I have to say that felt like a game where La Salle snatched defeat from the jaws of victory. They were in control. They had the vets. They were the older team. They were playing with a physical, defensive brand of basketball that I thought put them in the driver's seat to get that win and really get a win that I feel La Salle needed to catapult themselves early this UAP season for potentially a twice-to-beat seed in the later stages of the elimination round. But of course, it just sounded too good to be true, and in La Salle fashion, they weren't able to secure the victory. That's not to say that I think La Salle is no longer a championship contender. Remember, I predicted they would make the finals in the last podcast episode I did with Nico. You guys should check that out, a UAP season preview podcast we did. I still think La Salle can be a championship contender, but I do think there is work to be done. I was a little bit bamboozled by how they closed out FEU in the last game. I thought they showed composure in that game, and I thought this time around, really not a lot of composure. But first, I want to talk a little bit more about the Ateneo Blue Eagles. I thought Chris Kuhn and Kai Balungay were awesome. Coach Tab Baldwin mentioned in the post-game press conference with the media that he inserted Kuhn in the starting lineup because he felt the magnitude of this game, the not exactly the pressure, but the importance and significance, particularly with how Ateneo lost to NU in their season opener. It was important to have a veteran presence like Chris there. The aggressiveness, getting to the rim early on, just set the tone, gave Ateneo an early lead. Shake it had a kind of performance like that, a kind of spark that Kuhn provided, can make a team shake off the rust from a terrible defeat, which Ateneo had a few days prior, and just get back to their mojo, get back to believing that they could compete against anyone. They did that against La Salle, and Kuhn was awesome for that. Balunga in the fourth quarter, just incredible. Big shots, big dunks. He finished with 18 points and 16 rebounds, 12 offensive rebounds. Kuhn had 19 points to lead Ateneo. But Balungay was awesome. Coach Tab called some of his rebounds after the game like Ange Kwame like, and given the relationship Ange has with Coach Tab, that is probably the highest compliment Baldwin could give any Blue Eagle. And Balungay was awesome. He was making the right plays. He was hustling multiple efforts.
LaSalle fans and Animo supporters, the crown is back in Taft. Now is the best time to secure the most incredible DLSU merchandise in the market to celebrate the Lady Spikers title conquest of Season 85. Green Blooded Championship t-shirt is something you do not want to miss out on. It comes in 3 different colors with the name of each champion spiker on the back, names that will be remembered forever. What better way to celebrate this unforgettable season? So visit Green Blooded on Shopee now and show off your Animo spirit.
Ateneo, it didn't seem like it for a while because of how physical LaSalle was playing and how LaSalle seemed very dedicated to hard-nosed basketball, going for loose balls. But Ateneo won the rebounding battle, 66-50. They had 27 offensive rebounds, 12 for Balungay, 7 for Obasa. Joseph Obasa, by the way, after a very forgettable first game against NU, finished with 11 points, 3 blocks, and 16 rebounds on 5 of 11 shooting on almost 30 minutes in this game. Fantastic performance for Obasa. Other guys who deserve credit, Mason Amos, 12.5 rebounds in only 11 minutes. The minutes, I am very curious why he's not getting a lot of playing time. I guess it's something to monitor the rest of the way. But he hit big 3-pointers in the fourth quarter and also hit a huge short jumper in the baseline, 8 points in the fourth quarter alone. First 3-pointer of the game, of his career in the UAP, was a 4-point play in the first half, actually, which was really stylish too. But those big shots at the end of the game were huge. I felt Jared Brown, even if he didn't shoot well, was doing a good job, controlling the ball in areas where I felt Ian Espinosa struggled a bit. Brown also had 6 assists. Sean Kitevis battled cramps early in the game. Whether he's injury in the fourth quarter is knee related, I guess we shall find out more. But really, those were the guys who did the damage for Ateneo. LaSalle, on the other hand, Kevin Kimbao led the way, 17 points, 14 rebounds, 7 assists. Evan Nelly, 15 points, 3 rebounds, only 3 assists, so not a lot of dimes for Nelly. Nelly went 1 of 9 from 3-point range, 4 of 16 from the field. Kimbao, 6 of 16. Erla Badam, 11 points, 4 of 10 from the field. Mark Nonoy, 2 of 7. CJ Austria, 1 of 4. Waki Manuel, 1 of 8 from the field. He did do a good job with rebounds, 6 and 5 assists, but the shooting was really just not good there, not there present today. Michael Phillips, hounded by foul trouble, finishing with, let me check that real quick. Only 2 points for Michael Phillips, both at the free throw line, 0 of 3 from the field, only 7 rebounds. Again, like I said, hounded by foul trouble. I felt composure, like I said, wasn't here for LaSalle. 3 technical fouls for the Green Archers in the game. 1 on Mark Nonoy, 1 on Coach Topex, both in the first half, and then Kiambao. Now, the Kiambao one was huge because it happened in the third period as LaSalle's defense was really taking over the game. He had 2 fouls at that point. He gets called for a foul, a moving screen, if I'm not mistaken. Reacts emotionally, immediately gets stacked up. And suddenly he has 4 fouls when he's 1 away from disqualification. And he can't play in the third quarter. He has to sit down for a bit to avoid foul trouble or fouling out. And I felt that prevented LaSalle from really blowing the game wide open. But that's not the reason why LaSalle lost. The reason why they lost was because Ateneo was the better team. Ateneo scored 47 points in the game's first three quarters, 30 in the fourth quarter alone. And that offensive explosion, they had LaSalle's defense figured out at that point. And once LaSalle figured out their was starting to leak, and on offense, their half court execution, they were looking for answers and they didn't exactly have a go to set play or go to person who could deliver for them. They were in trouble because this LaSalle team, they're at their best scoring on the fast break. The three words Coach Topex Robinson mentioned before the season was defend, rebound, run. They couldn't defend Ateneo in the fourth quarter, which meant they weren't rebounding the ball, which meant they couldn't run, and they were relying a lot on jump shots. In fact, this I found very interesting.
When it comes to cleaning a home or office, most people just know the basics. Mopping the floor, wiping off dust and dirt is pretty standard. While all that can make a place look clean, it doesn't mean it is clean. Making a place truly clean and virus-free requires a professional help. That's where the cleaning coach comes in. The cleaning coach provides outstanding general cleaning, commercial cleaning, post-construction cleanup, upholstery cleaning, floor, carpet cleaning, aircon cleaning, and disinfection at a very reasonable price. The cleaning coach and his team will do all the scrubbing, dusting, polishing, disinfecting, and sanitizing, so you won't have to. Making your place look clean that you can also smell and feel. You will experience the difference. Now that's stress-free cleaning to a better normal, done professionally by the cleaning coach. Contact the cleaning coach today to learn more.
LaSalle had 73 field goal attempts. Out of those 73 field goal attempts, 37 were twos, 36 were threes. And look, I like modern basketball. I like spacing the floor. I like letting it fly from deep. But I like doing that when you have the necessary shooters who can convert. Kemba was 4 of 9 from 3. That's good. Nelly, 1 of 9. That's not good. But then also Evan, he isn't a great 3-point shooter, but he's a good 3-point shooter where, yes, you'd like to see him take the threes. Abadam was 3 of 6. Nonay, 1 of 4. And then everyone else really was off. You know, let's see. Baki Manuel, 0 of 4. Ben Phillips, 1 of 1 from 3. Took one shot, made a tough corner 3. You know, Ben should look for his shot more, honestly. I think he has the capability to score. Maybe let it fly from downtown. Short floaters. Would like to see him attempt more shots. And Francis Escandor, 0 of 2. Problem is, the 2-pointers, I think, is where LaSalle needs to focus more. Get the ball in the paint. Look to score more inside because they do have the height. They have the guys who can score inside. Now, it doesn't help that Phillips was hounded by foul trouble and really that threw off his rhythm the entire game. He was completely off. Or that Kemba was also hounded by foul trouble and he had a lot of his points towards the end there with some big threes, but he could also look to maybe score more inside. So let's see. I think the first few games for LaSalle will include trial and error, tinkering under Coach Topex. Coach Topex, to his credit, man enough after the game to say, I was out coach. And he took the accountability. And that has been his style with his Green Archers since the first day he took over. He will give his players all the freedom to execute and to play. And he will take the burden of accountability and responsibility on his own shoulders so they do not have to shoulder it. I was quite surprised about how not upbeat, but cool and level-headed Kiambao and Topex were after the game. But I thought it was a good sign. And I felt that right after LaSalle lost, it was easy to think back to, okay, the season is going to be a wash again. It's the same old team as usual. But I would give this team a little more leeway. I feel like Topex is building something there. And as good as they looked in preseason, because yes, they did look good in preseason. The UAAP is completely different, and this is still a new team under a new head coach. Probably still trying to figure out the rotation. Janelle Policarpio didn't even play today. Joshua David didn't have a good game, but I think he's going to have a good season. Raven Cortez made his debut today. Good, plus 13 in 10 minutes, interestingly enough. Bright Nwanko was okay. EJ Goliana, not a lot of playing time. Abadam had moments in offense. Defense could improve in some areas. So I think they're still figuring it out too. Although today was a game that I felt they should have won. I felt they were in control. They were up 9, like I said, in the third quarter, and then they just relaxed. Start of the fourth, the patience, the execution wasn't there like it was in the previous period. The defensive intensity wasn't there. Once Balungay was dunking all over them and Obasa was scoring the post, Obasa was really impressive today too in the second half. I should say Wednesday. The game's Wednesday. I'm recording this Thursday. But you guys get the drift. I have to say that LaSalle lost composure, and that's something they will have to work on because I feel like this team is good when they get out in the break and they get stops, but there will be games that they won't completely stop their opponent and they will have to execute in the half court. And they're not a great, at least right now, half court execution team unless we see Kimbao really take a leap. And if they can't be a great half court executing team, then they need to have composure. Their defense can't leak out easy points because Amos's 3 pointers there in the fourth quarter, he was open for more than a split second to get a good look. Balungay had some open dunks. Obasa had some open dunks. And the defensive intensity, again, that was there in the third quarter, just wasn't on the same level in the fourth. And maybe you can't even chalk it up to experience because Ateneo is a younger team than they are. But that did not look like the case on Wednesday. No, the Blue Eagles. I thought Chris Coon's jump shot towards the end of the third quarter to cut the lead from 9-7 was huge momentum swing because LaSalle had previously, actually before Coon hit that jumper, LaSalle nearly forced a steal. And if you're going to that fourth quarter down 9 instead of down 7, and you didn't just see someone make a jump shot to kind of turn the momentum of the game, then those are the little things that can really change a game's flow and rhythm. So Kuhn had these moments. Again, the start of the game was hitting 3 pointers when it looked like LaSalle was trying to blow away with the lead. Balungay just exploded in the fourth quarter. His rebounding was fantastic. Amos was clutch. Obasa had some nice post moves. Even was scoring at the rim. I felt he won tonight's matchup against Phillips rather convincingly. And again, like I said, Brown deserves these flowers for the game. Thought that Josh Lazaro also, the stats will not show it at all, but he had some okay minutes. Want to see what else he can build on moving forward. Sean Kitevis was a plus 10 in 21 minutes. He is solid, especially when it comes to hounding opposing playmakers. Not a lot of good Geo Chu minutes so far. Minus 15 in 8 minutes. Also in the last game against NU, not great. Thought he would be one of the Ateneo players to watch out for entering this season. Let's see if he bounces back in the upcoming games. But overall, great morale boosting win for Ateneo. Great way to bounce back after a disappointing opener to NU. And this team is only going to get better and better. Coach Tab said that even if this win will probably be encouraging to some fans, it doesn't mean they don't have work to do. They still have a lot of work to do. That's what Coach Tab himself said. He also did say that matchup against LaSalle today was Wednesday was exhausting because of their physicality. And I feel like it's going to be a better LaSalle squad the next time they face, but it's also going to be a better Ateneo squad the next time both teams face each other. Energy was great. It was a Wednesday. It wasn't the weekend, so the arena wasn't completely packed, but you can just feel the intensity of both sides. And you kind of got the vibe that the LaSalle crowd went in there really hopeful, not expecting a win, because at this point, LaSalle fans know that they can't expect anything guaranteed from the Green Archers, at least not yet, but they were hopeful for a win. And the Ateneo fans, it felt like they came in a little more anxious than usual, believing that the coach tab part of it, the system would give them a chance to win. And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. And they went away happy. And the LaSalle fans, gotta say, they went home with a little bit of the feeling of here we go again. Now, again, like I said, I think that under Coach Topex, things could be different. The vibe, the energy of the team, they're staying level headed, not too low, not too high. But let's see. The results in the court will ultimately be what matters the most. And for stuff to change for LaSalle, they need to execute better, especially in late game situations. Other stuff that I just want to mention, Coach Stab joke about Kai's dunks. I taught him those. He probably won't say that. Funny light moment in the locker room there at the end. Coach Stab very complimentary, of course, about Balungay. And Kuhn and Amos and the rest of the guys who played. Balungay and Coach Tabin all said that they showed the fight that was missing against NU, that fight in the one big fight. And of course, what other better way than to face a rival to get yourself going? I'm really excited to see some of the upcoming games. I'm very excited for NU versus UP on Saturday. I think that's a game between two, fair to say, probably the two most impressive teams so far of the tournament. UP didn't close out the game great against UE, but they still won comfortably and they were dominant in the beginning. So UP versus NU is something I'm looking forward to. I'm just happy to have the UAAP back. I'm sure many of you also feel the same way. Now, interestingly enough, in today's Wednesday's game, I brought my wife and my brother-in-law to the game with me. We all got to watch it. My brother-in-law, he's usually reserved. He's older now. He has kids. He's in his 40s, so he's reserved. He's, usually more NR about things or more logical. And he hadn't been to an UAP game live in years, I believe. But he's from Ateneo and he was a Blue Eagles fan when he was in a college. And just the college side, the youthful side of him came out at the game. He was cheering, he was shouting, taking video, shouting one big fight, singing the alma mater hymn. And I feel like that's one of the magical things about the UAP. It brings out the inner collegiate kid in us, the youthful, exuberant, passionate, it's us against the world kind of vibe that UAP basketball and UAP in general just brings out. And I'm so happy to have it back. I'm sure many of you feel the same. And this next few weeks are going to be great. And let's enjoy more of those unforgettable moments because these are moments to live for. Before calling a wrap on this podcast, too, I just want to thank those who've approached me so far at the arenas. Mo Arena. So far, all game days have been at Mo Arena. But I want to thank those who've approached me, have complimented me about sharing updates on social media, my podcast. I have to say, it puts such a big smile on my face when people tell me that on the way to the arena, they were listening to the past few podcast episodes right before the game. Or if they say they read my work, they read my articles. Really, really appreciate it. Brings so much happiness and um yeah, I just can't find the right words to say thank you, but I really appreciate it, everyone. Thanks for doing that. And thanks for following my work. Thanks for following my podcast. When I started this podcast, again, we are in episode 100. That's crazy to me. But when we started this podcast, it was something I thought I'd do for fun. It was something I thought I'd do in my spare time, a passion project, right? That's how so many of these endeavors start. And since then, we've built up relationship with sponsors, advertisers. Thank you to the cleaning coach. I've seen Kariv at the games. Nice seeing you, bro. I'm sure you were disappointed about the La Salle Ateneo result, but hang in there. Of course, to my guy Kirk, get blued, green blooded. Kirk was probably happy. He was definitely happy with the game's result. Also, Varsity Lifestyle, the official merchandising line of the UAP. Check out the booth at the games. Check them out online for all your top notch UAP merch. It's been great to see some friends at the games too. It's been great to see some of you listening to the podcast. And I'm excited to see how else this can grow. I'm excited to connect more with the listeners, with the viewers. Also, always very thankful to my producer Jason. The late nights, the short time frame for work, he gets it done. Major props. We made it to episode 100, and I can't wait to produce more stuff, more episodes, more content for all of you. So, yeah, thank you for the love. Thank you for the support. Thank you for loving the UAP like I do, so we have something to connect on. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. This is the Ganglani. Thank you. See y'all next time.